A man. A man is his heart. A lying, cheating heart means a lying, cheating man. A loving, merciful heart means a loving, merciful man.
That is really powerful stuff there, man. So today we're talking about what it means to be a man. I mean, there's so many definitions flying around, but there's a lot of pressure that comes along with those things. So we're really excited to break these things down in the show today. Let's get started.
We unpack what we can. Shame in the low. Break the room, break the room. Then we blaze a new road. See the patterns in the pain, change the process into progress. No bashing, just balance. This is Men Unpacked. Yeah, we come with.
Checking with your brother, not just reps, but regrets. Ask what's heavy on your heart, not how much you bench press. We rewrite the definition of strong from the root. Soft voice, steady eye contact, that's unshakable.
We unpack what we can. Shame in the low. Break the room, break the room. Hit the wall, let me know. See the patterns in the pain, change the process into progress. No passion, just balance. This is Men Unpacked. Yeah, we confess.
Alrighty, so we are back with another episode of Men Unpacked. This is your favorite dating coach, Coach Jackson, and we have my guy.
Dr. Coach Mac. I've been out. I was out last episode because I was handling some dental work, and it put me down for a while. But I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right. So, how men learn what a man is? A lot of times, men learn what a man is by their environment. Their environment is often categorized as, friends or friends of friends' parents or uncles or even school teachers or principals. So a lot of times, we learn how a man is by society as well. Society will always try to give you a script, be tough, be silent, be dominant. It's about accountability when no one is watching, integrity. One of the things that, I tell my son, all my sons, is manhood is something the world gets to hand you, It's something that defined through the choices that you make, the discipline that you have, and your character. And your character, speaks volumes about you. I had a situation where I was talking to a teacher at my school, and I was telling them that, once somebody question your character or question your integrity, and therefore they've always done that. Now it's like, now they playing with your manhood. Now they playing with about you. Are you a real man? That gets thrown in relationships all the time. Being a real man, you need to be a real man. But what is a real man? What you think?
Actually, I got a quick question for you. So, what were you taught as far as like being a real man, or how you supposed to represent yourself?
I learned very fast about being a man, being a real man. And that came from, my uncles. Not my father, but my uncles. And my uncle used to always say, like, if you are everything but your word, like, if you say something, you better hold on to it. And most definitely, you have to make sure that you be dominant. And I learned, I think I probably about 5, 6, 7 years old. I remember when I was riding on a bike and I ran into a mailbox. I'm talking about the big, super mailbox with like 22 apartments in it.
Oh no!
I ran slam in that, right? I ran head first with my bike, and when I fell, I could hear my uncle and I heard my father too at that time and said, "Get up and dust yourself off. Don't be crying. Don't be weak. Don't be the wimp. Get up and dust yourself off." So I've always thought right then, like, you know what? A man has to be dominant. I can't be crying whenever I feel like I need to cry, or I can't be soft whenever I know I need to be soft. So, that's how I learned how to be a man. But as I got older, that's not all about being a man, because when I joined the military, your integrity is a main source of being a man. Your integrity, man.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there, man. Integrity is one of those things that is integral, man. You can't get past it. Eventually, somebody's gonna see the real you. As I would say, man, that was really big as far as like earning respect. just being respected as a young man. You couldn't be soft. I'm sorry, you just couldn't. I was a relatively, soft kid, soft spoken, didn't really have a lot of, boldness about me. It was just, I would just go into school doing my thing. But for the most part, it's a lot of other kids, other young men who will test you. You will be tested. If they don't think you will defend yourself, what you have won't be yours for long, whether that's your backpack or your lunchbox. So that's one of the things that I really think that a lot of guys put up at the very least. Sometimes it can be a real, it can really willing to fight, or at the very least, sometimes you get some guys that are fake willing to fight, but it's because they're trying to learn how to protect themselves.
All right, so how men were shaped before they even understood it comes from how you was raised. I was raised in an all women's household. My father and my mom, they split up and got divorced whenever I was just 6 years old. So all I seen was my mom and her sisters feuding and fighting over guys. And I seen how my grandfather before he passed and how he like treated his kids. And one of the things that I've learned from my grandfather was a man is not defined by how others see him. It's about how he show up. And the one thing that I've always done for my kids is showed up. And that's why I feel that I have to always show up for my kids and for my wife.
Yeah, I think that those examples, when we're having to look for them, even when it's like a plant, in my opinion, like even a plant kind of usually gets some guidance, especially a tree. You put braces around a tree as it's coming up to show it which way to go. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
us, we're being shaped, whether we know.
I like that. I
Oh,
like
man.
that right there,
Hey, man, you,
man.
you can
Good
have that
grief.
one, bro.
Oh, now.
Hey man, it's yours, man. But I think even without those braces around us, we're still trying to figure it out. Like you had to reach for your granddad's wisdom or your uncle's wisdom, or at the very least, the structuring. How are they posturing themselves? I think that is a part of how we as young men are had to come up too. My dad wasn't around. I had my uncle to who I could look to every now and then, and even then, it was a shell of what I thought he was putting out. I didn't
Oh,
know
most
what
definitely.
you saying. It's like you don't really know a person unless you live with them.
Do you think there's a difference in a man who was raised in a single mom's household versus with both parents?
Tremendous difference. There's a certain amount of confidence that a man can have in the world or in his approach to getting what he can earn in the world when you know that your dad has your back. When your father, who is also a provider, a staple in your household, has your back. It's a hell of a thing to try to lean on mama. Leaning on mama is tough. That's the last thing you want to do if you any kind of man. And you take less risk when you don't have that backing that man, I could really jump, I could go for it, but if I don't land it, I'm gonna land on mine. That's not it. So you play it safer when you don't have that support, I believe. What do you think about that?
I think that's deep right there, man. Like that's deep because, like I said, I grew up in a single parent home with just my mom, my brother, and my sisters. But before my brother and sister was born, it was just me and my mom and her three sisters and my grandmother and my grandfather. And I was just watching that, and I seen the difference of how I was raised. But I was forced to be older than what I was because how the dynamic was. But now, like as I grew up, I was like, you know what? And I see some of my friends, they had both their moms and their father in their life. And I was like, you know what? When I get older and I have kids, I don't care what me and my wife may go through, and we may go through hell, we may go through whatever we're going through. I'm gonna make it work so that my children can still have both parents in the household because again, like you said, it's a difference. It's a big difference. Like you
Mhm.
said, you had your uncle. I have my uncle too, but I see how my children at have the confidence level is when it comes to my kids playing sports, the confidence level when it comes to the academics, the confidence
Mhm.
level whenever they have to do something because dad is there, and then they got mom to be a little softer with the kids. Although mom is hard too, but mom would be soft with the kids because when the rock come around, I'm all about being hard, but
Mhm.
I'm also telling them it's okay to be soft.
Man, I got something for you there. So, is it possible to be strong and to be emotional at the same time? Is that hard to do?
It's not hard to do in the simple fact because one thing that I teach my children, my boys, I say it's okay to cry. you can be a man. It's okay to cry because them tears is strength coming out of your body. So it's not possible to be strong and emotional, but you're not gonna be an emotional man, young man as you grow up and can't be strong, if that makes sense. Because the last things that I said to my kid, you know the difference between a battleship and a cruise ship. And my son, he's 20 years old. He was like, "What, Dad?" And I said, "A cruise ship will always turn around when there's a storm, but a battleship will always go through the storm."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm with you, man. That's that might be one I had to take with me. Man, I really think that when it comes to being strong and being emotional, man, it's a lot of pressure associated today, especially when we're expected to provide, lead, and still be available. That one
Mm-hmm.
is extremely tough. And I would say it's even tough for me, man, because, man, I'm working 2.5 jobs myself. And
Mm-hmm.
there's plenty of times where I don't know how to turn it off. So that available part, as far as leadership, I can give advice, I can give support, I can give you whatever structure we need. You know what I'm saying? Providing, thank God, no problem. But
Mm-hmm.
availability, I have an issue with that because that availability requires me to put other things down in order to like whatever they need from me. Whatever they need from me. And okay, if you just need me to be at your side doing nothing, fine. That's tough for me, Coach Mac. I don't know about you. How does that work for you?
Yeah, it's real tough for me, man, because outside of being a psychologist, I've been voted to be the head coach of an ABA basketball team, right? And
Congratulations.
I'm already coaching arena football too, as well as semi-pro ball. So
Hmm.
I went from playing to coaching, and then still being able to provide. And to me, it's very hard because it's hard, but I have the family backing, and my wife, I was telling her just the other day, I said, I feel that I'm not available for you all because I'm doing so much. And my wife told me, and it touched my heart. And she was like, everything that you are doing, I know you're doing it out of love. And I know that if you stop doing what you're doing right now, then you're going to be available. But then we're going to be falling short on bills because you're not doing this. You the breadwinner.
Hmm.
Or not be available at times and then still be able to provide for us. So I think it's like, I don't want to say this because,
Awesome.
yeah, so it's just hard. So again, that is affecting a lot of things because, again, like I said, I want to be available for my children and I want to be present. And I talk about it all the time at these parent. I do the thing at school called Parent University where I talk to the parents about being present for your children during school. And that's like, sometimes I feel like I'm being a hypocrite sometimes because most times I'm not available, but I try to be available every time and all the time. So it's like, dang, I'm talking about this, but it's like the ones that I love, like my kids and my wife, they are like, I need you. And they
Hmm.
know that I'm going to be there for them. But, in order for me to be there for them, I have to be out there working the way I work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say I feel the exact same, man. Because the thing is, you talk about this promotion and this additional role, man, that you take on, man. Those, as I say, man, you be living in answered prayers, and you want to do your best with those because those are helping keep everyone afloat. So and
Yeah,
they cost you time. They cost you that mental energy, man. And I feel the exact same way. It's hard to turn it off when you know you've been rewarded with this thing. Not everyone could have got that ABA job. Not everyone could have got the semi-pro football job. It's a blessing. So you're just trying to
it
be a
is.
good steward of all of these things in your camp.
Most
As
definitely.
far
Most definitely.
it's interesting because when I think about, I spent a lot of time away from my daughter at one point, man, and it's a blessing to spend as much time as I do with her now, even though I'm probably busier than I've ever been. But I can tell, anytime I get to sit in my office chair, I'm working. I'm thinking about something. It don't matter if I'm editing 5 videos in a row. Sometimes there's a lot of pressure to, she anywhere I am or anywhere I'm sitting, she want to sit, and I'll be clear across the room, and she'll come over there and just want to sit with me, and that kind of it hurts my heart a little bit because I'm like, man, I could be more present here, but also dad gotta put in some work here. So, in your opinion, Coach Mack, what does it look like when men feel overwhelmed?
So I promise you, I felt overwhelmed just yesterday. Just yesterday. And when I say overwhelmed, it's like I instantly get a headache. Like I
Oh no.
instantly get, and I could carry a lot. Now I can multitask very well, and I'm good at multitasking. My wife would tell you, like I could be and listen to what my daughter is saying, and then listen to what my son is saying, and then still doing the taxes. I
Hmm.
could do that, but I was overwhelmed just the other day because it's like my older son, not my 20-year-old, my 21-year-old. He told me that he wanted to leave school and start truck driving school,
Hmm.
right? I just paid his tuition, right? Just paid his tuition, and then my wife goes and tell me, oh yeah, say cool, he wants to transfer schools again. This will be his second time transferring schools, and I'm like, I just paid his tuition. He's want to transfer schools again, so now I'm gonna have to pay that other tuition, and then my wife, she's about to go off to California for this seminar, and then the kids are gonna be with me, but then I still have to coach, and I was like,
Hmm.
dang, my head just almost popped because I was like, I'm overwhelmed. When you become overwhelmed, this is when you have to come up with things like small things like that you could do, like listening to music or drawing or going swimming, go for a walk. That's one of the things that I do now, and I started doing as I got older, and like actually going for walks. And it's crazy because I used to always see these older guys all the time just walking in my neighborhood. Now I know why they're walking.
Yeah, yeah.
They they're trying to stay ahead. They're trying to stay healthy,
Hmm.
but they are also overwhelmed because the reason why I know they're overwhelmed because it's a guy that lived across the street from me, the retired vet too, and he's been to Vietnam, and his wife just passed away. I want to say about 2 3 months ago, and he said I he said I become overwhelmed whenever I'm thinking about my wife, so I just go walk. And I see him walking all the time.
I was thinking about what it takes to balance everything and still be available for everybody. I think that men have a emotionally regulated man who understands um the importance of priority and task management can probably juggle things well when it comes to like, all right, you look, I had a bad day over here, but that ain't got nothing to do with over here. And I guess what would you say about that? Do you think that's valid?
I think it's very valid, man. I think that's very, very, very valid because it's like a lot of times things that are bothering the men, they sometimes push it aside so that they can care for everybody else. And I do know that because I'm in a situation right like that right now. My oldest daughter, not my oldest daughter, but I guess the middle daughter, she is in college right now. She goes to Grambling State. So I told her that if she went to any school in North Carolina, school would have been free. She wanted to, go elsewhere. So I was like, all right, cool. So the day that she was supposed to leave, I cleaned her room up and packed everything so that when it's time for her to leave, that she can go. That she can go. She won't have to worry about being frantic, being in a hurry. So I packed everything up in not boxes, but in like totes. She came back and seen her room was empty and stuff like that because I threw away all the trash and all the stuff. She said, "How dare you go in my room and touch my stuff?" And I'm like, "What? How dare I?" And then I said, "Hold up, what bills you pay in this house?" So this is August. This was August. The first time he's speaking to her was last week from August.
Hmm.
So I'm telling her mom, I said, "Look, this disrespect, she's mad because this is what I did because she didn't do it. So I'm having to deal with my daughter that I raised not speaking to me. She's 18, or she'll be 19 this year. And then have to deal with my mom. I tried to make sure that I reach out to my mom, but my mom, she don't reach out to me. She don't even talk to me like that. Not because of me, but because that's how she's always been. And then you got my other daughters, they coming around, but for a long time, their moms was not allowing me. Listen to the words. Was not allowing me to see them the way I wanted to see them because what they said was, as they was growing up, if my daughter want to go, I ain't gonna make them go. So they never came. My daughters had to get older. They had to get older, and once they got older, now that they older, now they talk to me like, "Dad, you know what? I'm sorry how I was raised. What I did, and I just wasn't mature. Now I am." It's like I had to put my feelings to the side and continue to live because I had kids that live with me. You know?
Hmm. I was thinking about it. In a situation like that, like I would dang near want to crash out real bad about somebody, not even just simply not encouraging relationship. At the very
Mhm.
least, my mom was really, she was big about, well, hey, if you want to reach out, here's his phone number. The phone is on, you can call him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was always, even when it came down, if I needed what the thing's called, a long distance card, something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I for sure would be ready to lose it about something like that. But it's really hard. It's easy to keep it together when you know what, that's just not my nature to crash out. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a really common thing nowadays that a lot of people are willing to do so because it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress, but man, when you don't allow it to get to that level, there's a threshold for me. And after you reach that threshold, I hit the button out there, and then now I don't care. I can't care about it because if I care too much, we all know what happens after that point.
Yeah. Yes. 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 When you start caring too much, man, this is when you will crash out. And it's been a couple of times. It's been a couple of times where I wanted to crash, like go bonkers, because like I tell my wife a lot. It's like you got the best version of me right now because before you met me, I was that dude that will. I was that guy. Like if you was with your pastor, you was with your mama, you was with whomever, you could get slapped up. But I changed. Like I promise you, I think you can attest to this. Being a girl dad changes you.
Oh
It
yeah.
it changes you because I never want my daughters to see me like crash out. I never want them to see me crash out, but they know I will. But I never want them to see me do it because this is not the example that I want to teach them for their relationships that they have in the near future.
Hold on. Let's quick pause real quick. All right, ready?
Yep.
All right. Bro, when I think about it and I think about the situation that you brought up, man, it's almost like your feelings don't matter. You know, when you were cleaning up your daughter's room, when your daughters wasn't reaching out to you, wasn't where they went when they weren't trying to, create that relationship with you, you can care about you can know that you know better for them and they are better off in your care or at the very least under your having your influence on their life. But man, it's really tough to put that to the side to be able to prove it later so you didn't, scorch earth and crash out. You know what I'm saying? Because I can definitely see it, man. Like where I would have, a younger version of me would have absolutely went off about, you know, my child's mom not encouraging the relationship because I know what I had and I know what it meant to me to just be around my dad, man. Just to be in his presence. I never forgot not one time when I got a chance to be with him. But I guess how did you deal with those emotions? And I guess just without reacting, understanding theirs and them not even having to understand yours.
How I dealt with it, I've never wanted to see. I mean, I never wanted my daughters to see me and their moms like fighting and just because I did want the mom. Well, although I know they was doing it sometimes, but I didn't want them to look at me as being angry, and then they really don't want to come around me
Hmm.
because they see that dad he's mad, he's angry, like he might hurt me and whatever. So I kept it calm. I kept it calm all the time, and because like when I was growing up, I used to see my mom and my dad arguing and fussing all the time. I used to see my mom arguing and fussing with her boyfriend. It was many days that I had to fight for my mom because she was always in some dude's face, pointing fingers, poking him in the head, and him
Hmm.
about to knock him out, and I had to step in. It's like I never wanted my kids to see, most definitely my daughter see me and their mom going back and forth because I do know daughters always paint a picture of how they view their moms and they always paint a picture of how they view their fathers.
Hmm.
So that's why, I just had to, just keep it calm. Although I did crash out one time before, but not in front of my kids. It was just her. It was me, her, and her friend had to crash out. So let me ask you this: when it comes to dating, right? How would you say men tie their worth to money, status, sex, and success?
Oh man, it's pretty. That's almost a an essential part of most men's dating or what they perceive their worth as. We can be the nicest guy in the room. We can be the nicest, most loving guy. But often when it comes to dating for guys, it's what package are you showing up with? What experiences are you showing up with? Do you have any net worth or network that is beneficial to her? Because the other guys who are showing up could very easily be that. When we think about the olden days of courtship, used to have men from all across the land. They would show up to the princesses, whatever it is, and they had to show what they had. Love was not enough. And I do believe that that is the truth today because we live in a material world. That just is what it is. But the value of a man, the true worth of a man, isn't, it will never be in what you can collect or what you can show. It is absolutely in your beliefs and your character and your integrity, like you were talking about earlier. So as important as those things are, they are not the most essential. But what would you say about that?
Most definitely, man. A man's worth is not in his money or status or sex or success. It's
Mhm.
about that man, period. Like him showing up, him being in the show up. Because I dated a girl before my wife, and it's like I enjoyed her. But the thing is, like, I guess she enjoyed me too, cause we was always doing something. She was always with her hand out. Hey, let's go do this. Let's go get my nails done. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to Vegas. Let's go to California. Let's do. It's almost like because she knew my status, she knew about my money, she knew about my sex, and she knew about my success. It's almost like she was gearing everything towards what I had, like you said, materialistic stuff and all this
Mhm.
stuff versus knowing that I was a man, period. Period.
Mhm.
I showed up. I showed up for her. And, it's just crazy.
So
It's
what
just
happens
crazy.
when those things aren't there though? When you no longer have the things, or it could be you or anybody, and that's what they've been given, and that's what the person that they're dating has gotten used to. What happens then?
A lot of times when you're not giving that things, the girl don't want to be with you.
Mhm.
Certain women don't want to be with you. It depends on the type of woman that you are, approaching or being or you be with, because I told my wife, let's go back. This is crazy right here. So before my wife, right, I was always doing something. Like I was always the one buying these chicks all kinds of stuff, buying these women to trips and stuff like that. But I told my wife the reason why and what made me fall in love with her, like really fall in love with her, I'm gonna tell you what my wife did. She bought me a house coat and a shirt. And a woman has never just bought me something because, I thought this looked good on you. Or you need a house coat. Here's a house coat. You're always wearing a pullover or a sweatshirt when I see you. And you just wear a house coat. Because she did that, it took me somewhere because no woman has never bought me. So I was always the one buying and doing. And she
Mhm.
did that, and it's like she did that over and over again. And I was like, dang, like it just felt good that we both can do for each other. So with that said, what is that women are missing when it comes to being or the little things or winning men over?
Man, I think for the most part, a lot of women they just kind of miss the mark, or rather, it's not on their radar to just add a little bit of spice to the dish, a little bit of spice to the pot. A lot of times, man, we're doing a lot of the big additions to the relationship, man. How we spend time. Usually, he's gonna be paying for that. Whatever that outing is, he's probably coming out of pocket for that. But however she can make that, put her touch on that and that makes it special for him. I think, like you said, the house coat, man. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, that matters. That matters because that can be a daily thing for you. Every time you pick
Yeah.
that up, you're gonna think about her. That is
And I promise
essential.
you, I
That's something
did,
I would
man.
tell my daughter. Hey, look, whatever it is you can do, get him something, a little bit of something that he'll think about you every time he picks it up. And the more useful it is, the better.
Most definitely, man.
So, in my opinion, when it comes to something that men need to unlearn, it's the hardness of, oh, this is going to be good. The thing that I think most men really need to unlearn is I know we all experience women in a very similar way, especially when we're young, when we didn't have much. And now we really think that our stuff, our status, our ability to get and keep women is what really matters. Ultimately, man, it's not. I think it holds a lot of us back and it keeps a lot of us away from our purpose for much longer than it should. The quicker that we unlearn those things and find the woman that is supposed to be for us. If we are the kind of man who wants to be married ever, we have to find our helpmate. And unlearning those things will help you find the woman that will help carry you and your lineage forward. That's what I think we should
Oh,
unlearn.
yeah, I like that. I like that. So one thing I would say that men needs to unlearn is that the belief or showing emotions is weakness. That mindset keeps a lot of men silent, disconnected and carrying weight that they don't need to carry.
Hmm.
So that's one thing I think, men need to unlearn right there.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Actually, hold on. I think I got one that fits the theme. So let me go again. So the one thing I think that men should really unlearn is that just because you've seen another man carry something a certain way doesn't mean that you have to carry it the same way, or that method would ever work for you. We're talking about pressure. We're talking about the patterns of how we were raised and what we thought manhood was like. Man, we're not all built the same, and that's okay. Like find someone that has a similar lifestyle, someone that you admire, and watch how they walk and how they move with the things that they have on them. I think that's something that we could definitely learn from. So unlearn how you're carrying it and learn what works for you.
And I would say, this is what I would say right here too as well, because I like that. I
Mhm.
like that. All right. So the one expectation that men, I think, needs to change is that, that all men have it all together. That
Mhm.
needs to change because we don't have it all together. We may try, but we don't have it all. So that pressure keeps a lot of men from asking for help. A lot of times, if this woman over there or this girl over there thinks you have it all together, that man right there is gonna go through life, continue to say, I ain't gonna ask for help when I need help.
Mhm. And they'll never look to no, they'll never look to help you because you always got it. You never
Yeah,
need support, man. That's rough.
yeah.
So I guess let us know in the comments, what's one expectation that you think men need to change?
And don't be shy about it. Be raw. Be raw about it because
Hmm.
I do know that there's a lot of men out here in this world, and I used to be one of them where I always have it. No, I got it. No, I'm good. Knowing good well I wasn't good and I didn't have it.
So if this conversation resonated with you, let us know in the comments. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe, come back. We do TikTok lives. We're live on here and maybe another platform. I'm forgetting. But yeah, I'm Coach Jackson. It was nice to have this conversation with y'all today. And so, oh yeah, I got it. So I'm Coach Jackson, and this was our conversation today, talking about just the pressure on men and the expectations. Of course, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can find me on TikTok or any social media. Really, O_that's Jackson. I'm always open to a conversation.
And again, I'm Dr. Coach Mac. You can find me at Coach JC McGugan at gmail.com or J McGugan 43 at gmail.com. Again, if you have any questions or you need help with, finding a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, hit me up and we can, I have a lot of connects all over the place and I can most definitely help you find. Make sure don't be a stranger.
We unpack what we can.